Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into some seriously strange underwater mysteries.
Always.
Today we're going deep, deep underwater to explore uh, USOs,
UMESO.
unidentified submersible objects.
Oh,
We're
wow.
talking about things that move in ways we can't explain, make sounds we can't identify. They leave scientists scratching their heads.
Okay, so we're not looking up at the sky for UFOs this time.
Right, right. We're going under the water.
Very cool.
And think about it, we have more detailed maps of Mars than we do of our own ocean floor.
That's crazy when you think about it.
The stories we've got lined up for today, they're the kind that make you realize just how much we don't know about what's lurking down there.
Right.
A USO was tracked by the U.S. Navy back in 1963 that zipped around at speeds and depths that seemed impossible at the time.
Really?
There's this mysterious low-frequency hum that's been detected in the ocean's twilight zone.
What?
And then there's the case of a tagged great white shark, 9-foot predator, that suddenly vanished. The data suggests it was dragged down to some incredible depth
By what?
by something much, much larger.
This is giving me chills.
So what are we dealing with here? Are these just natural phenomena that we haven't figured out yet? Glitches in our technology?
Yeah.
Or could there be something more to it? That's what we're going to explore today. We're going to look at the evidence, consider the theories, and hopefully by the end of this deep dive, you'll have a better idea of what to make of these underwater mysteries.
I'm excited.
It always blows my mind to think that we've explored more of outer space than the depths of our own ocean.
That's true.
We're talking about over 70% of our planet covered in water, and we've only scratched the surface.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, we've only explored about 5% of the ocean, so 95% of it remains a complete mystery to us. And it's not just the sheer size, it's the conditions.
Right.
The deeper you go, the greater the pressure. It's like having a whole mountain piled on top of you. Then there's the lack of light, the freezing temperatures, and the technology needed for deep sea exploration. Well, it's extremely complex and expensive.
Yeah.
It's no wonder we've barely dipped our toes into this vast underwater world.
Okay, so imagine trying to spot something strange in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
It'd be like trying to find a needle in a haystack in the dark while wearing a diving suit that's slowly crushing you.
Exactly. And that's what makes some of these USO encounters even more intriguing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, take the 1963 incident near Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah?
A Navy sonar operator picked up this underwater object moving at an incredible speed, over 150 knots.
150 knots.
They tracked it for 4 days, and at one point, it dove down to a depth of 27,000 feet, which is almost 5 miles down.
150 knots and 5 miles down. Back in 1963.
Uh-huh.
That's mind-boggling.
Right.
Was there even technology capable of those speeds and depths back then?
Not even close.
Really?
The fastest military submarines at the time could only manage about 45 knots, and they certainly couldn't withstand the crushing pressure at 27,000 feet.
Wow.
So what was it?
Yeah.
Could it have been a misidentified whale? A school of fish?
Maybe?
Some weird underwater current? I don't know.
Those explanations seem a bit far-fetched given the reported speed and depth. We're not talking about a little blip on the sonar. This was tracked for days. What are some other theories?
Well, some have speculated that it could have been a secret government project,
Yeah.
maybe a prototype submarine, some kind of underwater drone.
Uh-huh.
Others have even gone so far as to suggest it could have been evidence of a hidden underwater civilization.
Wow.
Although that's getting into pretty speculative territory.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's fun to think about.
Yeah, I could see how that would spark some wild imaginations for sure. Okay, let's fast forward a few decades to the mystery of the low-frequency hum that was detected in the ocean's twilight zone. So we're not talking about a visual sighting this time, but rather a sound, and a creepy one at that.
This twilight zone, also known as the mesopelagic zone, is this dimly lit area. It's between 660 and 3,300 feet below the surface.
Okay.
Think of it as the transition zone between the sunlit world above and the complete darkness of the abyss below.
Right.
And it's teeming with life, creatures that have adapted to survive in this strange in-between world.
Okay, paint a picture for me. What kind of creatures are we talking about?
Bioluminescent jellyfish and squid that flash and glow.
Wow.
Fish with massive eyes to capture any glimmer of light, and all sorts of bizarre, otherworldly creatures.
So it's a real alien landscape down there.
It is. And a 2015 study estimated that the Twilight Zone could hold 90% of the world's fish biomass.
Wow, that's a whole lot of life that we're just beginning to understand.
Exactly.
So in this alien landscape, scientists pick up this weird humming sound. using highly sensitive equipment. It's described as a buzzing that lasts for hours, happening mostly at dawn and dusk. Their initial thought was that it's some kind of dinner bell for these deep-sea creatures, right?
Right. Many of the creatures in the twilight zone migrate vertically each day.
Okay.
They come up to feed at night and then go back down during the day.
Right.
Coordinated movement like that, especially with millions, maybe even billions
Yeah.
of creatures involved, could potentially create some kind of sound.
Right. That makes sense. But here's where I get a bit skeptical. Researchers have said that no known marine animal produces a sound that perfectly matches the hum's profile. So if it's not a dinner bell, then what is it?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
Some researchers have speculated it could be a type of communication we haven't identified yet, maybe from a species we haven't even discovered.
Right.
Others have suggested it could be geological, something happening on the ocean floor.
Okay, so we've got speeding USOs and weird Twilight Zone hums.
Yeah.
But now let's get into something that's seriously creepy. This one takes place in Australia, where researchers are tracking a 9-foot great white shark using a tag that records its movements and depth.
Yeah.
Everything seemed normal until
Until the shark suddenly makes this rapid, almost vertical dive down to 2,000 feet. Now, that in itself is unusual for a great white, but what's even stranger is the temperature data.
What do you mean?
The tag recorded a sudden spike from 46 degrees Fahrenheit to 78 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
The only way to explain that is if the shark was consumed by something much larger and much warmer.
Whoa, that's terrifying. Okay, I've heard the theory that it was just another bigger shark,
Right.
maybe even a cannibalistic great white.
Right.
But is that really plausible?
I mean, a shark big enough to swallow a 9-foot great white whole
Yeah.
and drag it down that fast?
That's fast.
It does push the boundaries of what we know about great whites.
Right.
While cannibalism has been observed in great whites,
Uh-huh.
it's typically in juveniles, not full-grown adults. Wow.
And to take down a 9-foot shark so quickly and efficiently, we'd be talking about a truly massive predator.
So what other possibilities are there? What else could be lurking in those depths that could take on a great white like that?
That's a great question, and honestly one that has sparked a lot of debate among marine biologists. There's the possibility of a giant squid or colossal squid,
Okay.
both of which are known to grow to enormous sizes. But even then, the speed and ferocity of the attack make it a tough sell. Some have even speculated about undiscovered species, even larger and more powerful predators that we haven't encountered yet.
Okay, so we've got mystery USOs, an unexplained hum in the deep, and a giant shark eating something. Let's add another layer of intrigue to this. The Bermuda Triangle.
Ah, yes, the Bermuda Triangle. It's a place that's synonymous with mystery and unexplained disappearances.
Right.
But, let's be clear. While some of the stories surrounding the Bermuda Triangle are undoubtedly exaggerated,
There are documented cases of ships and planes vanishing in this area that still lack a clear explanation.
right, like the USS Cyclops,
Oh, yeah.
a massive Navy cargo ship that vanished without a trace in 1918 with over 300 souls on board. Or the 5 Navy bombers, Flight 19, that disappeared in 1945 during a routine training flight. Their final radio transmissions spoke of compass malfunctions and disorientation. It's like they flew into some kind of invisible vortex.
Those are just two of the many cases that have fueled the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. There have been numerous theories put forward over the years to try and explain these disappearances.
Yeah.
Some point to environmental factors like sudden storms, rogue waves, or even the presence of methane hydrates.
Hold on, methane hydrates. What are those? How
Yeah.
could they cause ships to vanish?
Methane hydrates are basically ice-like formations that trap methane gas within their structure.
Okay.
They form under specific conditions of high pressure and low temperature, and they're found in many places on the ocean floor. The theory is that if a large deposit of methane hydrates were to suddenly release, it could create a massive underwater eruption,
Wow.
producing bubbles that could potentially cause ships to lose buoyancy and sink.
So methane bubbles could literally swallow a ship whole.
It's a possibility, and it has been put forward as a potential explanation for some of the Bermuda Triangle disappearances. However, it's important to note that there's no concrete evidence to directly link methane hydrate eruptions to any specific cases.
Okay, so we've got environmental factors, but what about some of the more, out there theories?
Right.
What about the idea of magnetic anomalies
Yeah.
or some kind of electromagnetic disturbance that could be messing with compasses, causing ships and planes to go haywire.
Those theories have been around for a while, but again, there's no conclusive evidence to support them. We know the Earth's magnetic field isn't perfectly uniform.
Right.
There are places where it's slightly weaker or stronger, but nothing dramatic enough to cause the kind of disorientation and navigational problems reported in the Bermuda Triangle.
All right, so we've got some natural explanations and some more fringe theories, but none of them seem to fully explain the mystery.
Right.
And then there's the complete lack of wreckage in many of these cases, right?
Exactly.
Like these ships and planes just vanished into thin air.
That's right. The lack of debris is one of the most puzzling aspects of these cases.
Yeah.
In the vast majority of ship and plane accidents, even in the deep ocean, we eventually find some wreckage, some trace of what happened.
Right.
But in many Bermuda Triangle cases, there's simply nothing. It's as if they were erased, which only adds to the mystery.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about ships and planes vanishing. Now let's talk about strange lights in the sky.
Okay.
Remember that commercial pilot who captured those baffling lights over the Pacific Ocean?
Yeah.
The photos were all over the news.
Yes, those images were quite remarkable.
So what happened?
Well, the pilot reported seeing hundreds, maybe even thousands, of lights in various colors, reds, oranges, greens, yellows, spread out over a vast area of the ocean. They persisted for a significant amount of time and moved in ways that he couldn't explain.
And the pilot was adamant that they weren't flares or any kind of conventional aircraft lights, right?
Right.
He's a seasoned pilot. He knows what he's looking at. And he was completely baffled by what he saw.
And his account is particularly intriguing because it echoes other reports of unusual aerial phenomena observed over or near bodies of water. There have been numerous accounts from sailors and pilots throughout history of strange lights,
Right.
unidentified objects moving in and out of the water, and other unexplained events.
So what are we to make of these reports? Are they simply myth-identified natural phenomena, like reflections, bioluminescence, or atmospheric effects? Or could they be something more extraordinary?
That's the question we need to grapple with. While some cases can certainly be attributed to natural explanations, there are others,
Right.
like the pilot's account over the Pacific, that defy easy categorization.
Yeah.
The scale, the duration, and the unusual movements described in these reports suggest that we may need to consider other possibilities.
Okay, let's talk about one of those improbable possibilities. Operation High Jump and the story of Admiral Richard E. Byrd.
Operation High Jump. This one takes us to Antarctica in 1947. It was a massive U.S. Navy expedition involving 3 naval battle groups.
Wow.
Over 4,000 personnel and a significant amount of equipment.
That's a lot.
Officially, it was a scientific expedition, but some believe there was more to it than met the eye.
Right, and this is where things get really interesting. The story goes that Admiral Byrd, who was the expedition's leader, encountered hostile flying saucers emerging from the water. These saucers allegedly attacked the fleet, causing significant damage and forcing Byrd to retreat.
It's a story that has been circulating for decades and has become deeply ingrained in UFO lore. However, it's important to note that there's no official confirmation of any such encounter from the U.S. Navy or any other credible source.
Right.
The official records of Operation High Jump make no mention of any hostile encounters or unexplained phenomena.
But there are those who point to Admiral Byrd's own words as evidence. In interviews after the expedition, he spoke of encountering a new enemy,
Right.
capable of flying from pole to pole at incredible speeds. And he even warned of the potential threat posed by these flying objects.
Those statements are certainly intriguing, and they have fueled a lot of speculation. However, it's important to consider the context in which they were made.
Right.
The Cold War was just beginning. There was a lot of anxiety about potential threats from the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Byrd's statements could have been a reflection of those Cold War anxieties, a way of emphasizing the need for continued military preparedness.
That's a fair point. But still, the mystery of Operation High Jump and Byrd's alleged encounter with flying saucers continues to fascinate people, and it highlights the enduring power of these stories, these glimpses into the unknown.
It does. And whether or not there's any truth to the story of hostile flying saucers in Antarctica, it speaks to our fascination with the idea of something else being out there, something beyond our understanding.
Okay, and just to add one more unexplained phenomenon to the mix, we can't forget about the Baltic Sea anomaly.
Right, the Baltic Sea anomaly. This one was discovered in 2011 by a team of Swedish ocean explorers. Using sonar, they detected a large circular object on the seafloor, about 60 meters in diameter,
Wow.
with unusual features that sparked a lot of debate.
Yeah, those sonar images look pretty wild. The object has a stepped structure, almost like a series of platforms or ramps leading up to a central plateau. Some have compared it to the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars.
It's certainly a visually striking object.
Yeah.
And because of its unusual shape and the lack of a clear explanation, it has become a favorite topic of discussion among UFO enthusiasts and those who believe in ancient underwater civilizations.
So what are the prevailing theories about the Baltic Sea anomaly? Is it a natural geological formation?
Hmm.
Some kind of unusual rock formation?
Hmm.
Or could it be something more man-made, maybe an ancient shipwreck or a lost city?
There have been a number of theories put forward, but none of them have been conclusively proven.
Hmm.
Geologists have suggested that it could be a glacial deposit formed during the last ice age,
Oh.
or a type of rock formation known as a pillar or stack.
Okay, those sound like plausible explanations.
Right.
What about the more out there theories?
Right.
What about the claims that it's an alien spacecraft or a portal to another dimension?
Those are certainly more speculative theories. While intriguing, they're not supported by any scientific evidence.
Right, but still, the Baltic Sea anomaly remains one of those unsolved mysteries that captures our imagination
It does.
and reminds us of how much we still don't know about our own planet.
Exactly, and that's what makes this whole topic so fascinating.
Yeah.
We've explored more of space than the depths of our own oceans. And it seems like every time we dive a little deeper, we encounter more mysteries, more questions, and more possibilities.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here in part one.
Hmm.
From speeding USOs and strange sounds to sharks vanishing under mysterious circumstances and the enigma of the Bermuda Triangle, it's clear that there's a lot we don't know about what's going on beneath the waves.
Absolutely. And in part two, we're going to dive even deeper into these mysteries.
Oh, I can't wait.
We'll explore some of the more speculative theories,
Right.
like the possibility of underwater civilizations and the potential for intelligent life beyond our own.
Stay tuned, because things are about to get really interesting. Welcome back to our deep dive into USOs. So far, we've encountered objects moving at impossible speeds, eerie sounds from the Twilight Zone, and even a great white shark meeting a mysterious end. We've explored the possible explanations from natural phenomena to secret government projects. But now, I think it's time we address the elephant in the submarine, so to speak.
Okay.
What if, and just hear me out here,
Yeah.
some of these USOs are signs of intelligent life underwater?
That's a question that has captivated imaginations for centuries.
Right.
The ocean is vast, mysterious, and largely unexplored. Is it so far-fetched to think that other intelligent beings could have evolved and thrived in its depths? I mean, we've discovered life in the most extreme environments on Earth, from boiling hot springs to frozen glaciers. Why not the deep ocean?
It's true. We keep finding life in places we never thought possible.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the practicalities here. If there are intelligent beings underwater,
Right.
what might their civilization look like? How would they survive in those extreme conditions?
Well, imagine a civilization that has adapted to the high pressure, the darkness, and the scarcity of resources in the deep ocean.
Okay.
They might have developed bioluminescence for communication and navigation,
Interesting.
or perhaps they've harnessed geothermal energy from hydrothermal vents.
Cool.
Their structures could be built from materials we haven't even discovered yet, and their technology might be far beyond our comprehension.
It's mind-blowing to think about. They could be down there building underwater cities,
Right.
developing incredible technologies,
Yeah.
while we're up here struggling with traffic jams and Wi-Fi passwords.
I know, right? And that raises another interesting question. If they're so advanced, why haven't they made contact? Why haven't we seen more concrete evidence of their existence?
Well, some might argue that we have seen evidence.
Right.
That those unexplained USO encounters, the strange lights, the sonar anomalies, those are signs of their presence.
Yeah.
Maybe they're observing us, studying us, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. Or perhaps, as you mentioned earlier, their technology is so advanced that we simply don't recognize it for what it is.
Those are certainly possibilities. Imagine trying to explain the internet to someone from the 1800s. They wouldn't have the framework to understand it.
Yeah.
Perhaps we're in a similar situation with underwater civilizations.
Okay.
Their technology, their way of thinking might be so different from our own that we're simply not equipped to perceive them.
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate for a moment.
Yeah.
Let's say for the sake of argument that these underwater civilizations do exist. What are the implications? How would their existence change our understanding of the world?
It would be a paradigm shift of epic proportions. It would challenge everything we thought we knew about life, evolution, and our place in the universe.
Wow.
It would mean that we're not alone, that intelligence has evolved independently on our own planet,
Right.
perhaps in ways we can't even imagine.
And wouldn't it also force us to rethink our relationship with the ocean?
Absolutely.
We've treated it as a resource to be exploited, a dumping ground for our waste. But what if it's home to other intelligent beings? Would we be so quick to pollute and destroy their habitat?
It's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
The discovery of underwater civilizations would have profound ethical and environmental implications. It would force us to reconsider our role as stewards of this planet
Right.
and to recognize that we share it with other intelligent life forms who deserve our respect and protection.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this goes beyond just a cool sci-fi concept.
Right.
This could have real-world consequences for how we treat our planet
Right.
and how we view ourselves as a species. But let's get back to the evidence, or rather, the lack of it. Some skeptics argue that all this talk of underwater civilizations is just that talk. They say there's no concrete proof, no smoking gun. How do you respond to that?
It's true that we don't have irrefutable proof.
Right.
But absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. The ocean is vast and largely unexplored. It's entirely possible that evidence of underwater civilizations exists, but we simply haven't found it yet. Or perhaps we have found it, but we're misinterpreting it.
Okay.
Like those ancient structures discovered off the coast of Japan
Oh, right.
that some believe are evidence of a lost civilization.
You're talking about Yonaguni Monument.
Exactly.
It's certainly a fascinating structure with its stepped formations and right angles. Some say it's a natural rock formation,
Right.
while others believe it was carved by human hands thousands of years ago.
Exactly. And it highlights the difficulty of interpreting underwater evidence.
Right.
Is it natural or man-made? Is it a product of erosion or intelligent design? These are questions that archaeologists and geologists are still grappling with.
So what can we do to get more answers? How do we move beyond speculation and get closer to the truth about whether or not there's intelligent life beneath the waves?
Well, for starters, we need to invest more in ocean exploration and research.
Of course, yeah.
We need to develop new technologies that allow us to explore the deep ocean more effectively
Right.
and to study its inhabitants in a non-invasive way.
Yeah.
We need to encourage collaboration between scientists from different disciplines, from marine biologists to archaeologists to anthropologists. And perhaps most importantly, we need to be open to the possibility that what we find might challenge our preconceived notions about life and intelligence.
I like that. Be open to the possibility, even if it seems far-fetched or even frightening. Speaking of frightening, I have to ask, what if these underwater civilizations aren't as peaceful and benevolent as we'd like to imagine? What if they're hostile?
It's a valid concern and one that's been explored in countless science fiction stories. But there's no evidence to suggest that any underwater civilizations, if they exist, pose a threat to humanity. In fact, given their potential technological superiority, if they were hostile, we'd probably know it by now.
That's a chilling thought.
Yeah.
But it also makes me wonder, what if they're not hostile, but they're also not particularly interested in interacting with us?
Right.
Maybe they see us as a primitive, destructive species,
Yeah.
not worth their time or attention.
That's another possibility, and it's one that should give us pause. We tend to assume that any intelligent civilization would be eager to make contact. But what if they've been observing us and have decided that we're not ready? What if they're waiting for us to evolve, both technologically and ethically, before they deem us worthy of interaction?
Okay, now you're really making me think.
Yeah.
What if all these USO sightings are just them checking in on us, seeing how we're doing, and so far we're not exactly making a good impression?
It's an interesting perspective. Perhaps instead of worrying about being invaded by underwater civilizations, we should be more concerned with what they think of us.
Oh.
Are we a species worthy of their respect? Are we responsible stewards of this planet? These are questions we should all be asking ourselves regardless of whether or not there's anyone down there watching.
You've given us a lot to ponder here. The possibility of underwater civilizations, the implications for our understanding of life and our place in the universe, the ethical and environmental considerations, it's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is, and it's important to remember that this is a topic that requires both imagination and critical thinking. We need to be open to possibilities, but we also need to be grounded in evidence and logic. And who knows, maybe someday, through further exploration and discovery, we'll finally have the answers we're seeking.
Well, I, for one, am definitely hooked on this topic now. I'm going to be looking at the ocean in a whole new light, wondering what secrets it holds, what wonders it conceals. And for our listeners, we'll be providing some resources in the show notes where you can dive deeper into this fascinating subject. But before we go too deep, we have one more part to this deep dive where we'll explore the implications of everything we've discussed so far.
Join us in part 3, where we'll consider the potential impact of underwater civilizations on our future and what it might mean for humanity if we're truly not alone on this planet.
Okay, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into USOs. We've explored some pretty mind-boggling possibilities, haven't we?
We have.
Objects moving at impossible speeds, strange sounds from the depths. Even that chilling idea of a giant shark eating something lurking down in the ocean. We even considered the possibility of underwater civilizations with, technologies and ways of life beyond our comprehension. But now I want to ask you, the listener, to think about something. What if all of this, these mysteries, these glimpses into the unknown, are actually just reflections of ourselves?
That's an interesting thought. How do you mean?
Well, think about it. We look out into the vastness of space, searching for signs of life, wondering if we're alone in the universe, right?
Right.
But what if the answer is closer to home, hidden beneath the waves? What if the search for extraterrestrial intelligence is actually a projection of our own desire to find something greater than ourselves, something to give us meaning and purpose?
I see what you're getting at. It's like we're looking for a mirror, a reflection of our own intelligence and consciousness, but we're looking in the wrong place.
Right.
What if the mirror is right here, in the depths of our own planet?
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, those unexplained phenomena, those USOs, those strange lights and sounds, are actually messages from that mirror, from that other intelligence trying to get our attention, trying to tell us something.
That's a fascinating idea. What do you think they might be trying to tell us?
I don't know, honestly. Maybe they're trying to warn us about the path we're on, our destruction of the environment, our endless conflicts, or maybe they're trying to offer us guidance, a different way of seeing the world, a way of living in harmony with nature and with each other.
It's a humbling thought, isn't it? To think that we might not be the most advanced civilization on this planet, that we might have something to learn from these underwater beings.
Yeah, it really puts things in perspective. We think we're so smart, so advanced, but what if we're just the noisy neighbors, making a mess of things while the real intelligence is quietly observing us from the depths?
And that brings us to another important question. If there is intelligent life beneath the waves, what is their perspective on us? What do they think of our actions, our behavior, our treatment of the planet?
I imagine they're probably not too impressed. We're polluting their oceans, overfishing their waters, disrupting their ecosystems. If they were watching us, I wouldn't blame them for, shaking their heads in disappointment.
It's a sobering thought, but a necessary one, right? Perhaps these USO encounters, these glimpses into the unknown, are a wake-up call, a reminder that we need to change our ways, that we need to start living in a more sustainable and harmonious way.
It's like they're holding up a mirror to us, forcing us to confront who we really are, not just as individuals, but as a species.
Exactly. And the reflection isn't always flattering, but maybe that's the point. Maybe that's what they're trying to show us.
So what do we do with this knowledge? How do we move forward?
Well, I think the first step is to acknowledge the possibility, to be open to the idea that we're not alone on this planet, that there might be other intelligent beings out there living in ways we can't even imagine.
And once we acknowledge that possibility, what then?
Then we need to start asking ourselves some tough questions. What does it mean to be intelligent? What is our responsibility to other life forms on this planet? What kind of future do we want to create? Not just for ourselves, but for all beings.
Those are big questions, but they're questions we need to be asking. And maybe, just maybe, the answers lie somewhere in the depths of our own oceans.
I think you're right. The ocean is a vast and mysterious realm full of wonder and potential. It's a source of life, a source of inspiration, and perhaps a source of wisdom.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners? What do we want them to think about as they go about their day?
I think the most important thing is to cultivate a sense of curiosity, a sense of wonder about the world around us, to look beyond the familiar, to question our assumptions, to be open to the unknown.
And to remember that we're not alone, not just in the vastness of space, but perhaps right here on our own planet, in the depths of our own oceans. Who knows what mysteries are waiting to be uncovered, what wonders are yet to be revealed.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? The mystery, the wonder, the possibility. It's what keeps us exploring, keeps us searching, keeps us pushing the boundaries of our knowledge and understanding.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to resurface from our deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of USOs. We hope you've enjoyed the exploration and that you'll continue to ponder the mysteries we've uncovered.
Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon and maybe, just maybe, on the depths below.